Good evening, everyone. We are a few days before Tisha B'Av, the day of the destruction of our temple that left us almost 2,000 years without the house of Hashem. The Torah says that Hashem told us to make him Mishkan. Mishkan comes from the word Shochen. Shochen means to live, to stay in one place. Mishkan, to hold the Shechina of Hashem. עשו לי מקדש ושכנתי, not בתוכו, בתוכם. Very interesting. It doesn't say make me a house that I will be in that house. It says make me a house that will be in everyone's heart. When the Bet HaMikdash is here, then the connection of the Jews to Hashem is in a much higher level. Now there's no Bet Mikdash. The connection to Hashem is in a much, much lower level. I spoke yesterday in my Hebrew lecture in 5 towns about a very common problems that we have today, that it's people who are looking to connect to Hashem but without any efforts. It's what we call shortcuts. Kitzurei derech, shortcuts. Everyone is an expert in shortcuts in life, in business, in school. Some people go to school. There's all kinds of scams in school. He doesn't even show up. He pays someone. He goes with a fake ID and he makes the test for him. That's called a shortcut. Or he buy a degree by paying $20,000 to somebody who works in the university and issue a degree for him. There's all kinds of fake degrees in Europe. There are doctors in Israel that got caught after 20 years they worked in a hospital, and then after 20 years they found out that it was all fake. They've never been doctors. It's very interesting. So you ask, how do they know how to perform? The answer is they work as nurse for a few years. They didn't want to go now to medical school for a few years. They already knew. Whatever the doctor knows, they know already. Because they operate with doctors for a few years. And they went and got a fake deal. They paid money and they became doctors. By the way, I don't know how I ended up here, but by the way, what do you think is the case? In case a doctor like this, a fake doctor like this, performed a procedure and was successful, he healed the patients, and then he sent the bill, and the day before the patient was about to pay the bill, it came on the news that they caught that doctor and it was all a fake. It's really not a doctor. Do you think he has to pay the bill or is dismissed because he's a crook?
I think
the nurse is a crook.
I think it's dismissed.
Why it's dismissed?
Well, he could have heard the patient, you know.
Let me ask you a question. What happened?
But he could have heard him.
Let's say you have a problem with your car. You got stuck. The car doesn't drive. So you see a sign, garage. You come into the garage. And I was there, and I'm not a mechanic, but I looked at your car and I knew how to fix the problem.
Yeah.
So I put someone's uniform, I fixed the thing. You paid me $200, and then I told you after you paid me, by the way, just that you know, I'm not a mechanic. I never worked. I just saw the mechanics doing certain things, and so now I fixed your problem. Now, can you sue me now in court and ask me to pay you back the money? Or the judge will tell you, what do you want? Charge you a reasonable price. And he got the job done. What's the question? You can say a mover. A mover, you don't need to be a genius to be a mover. You just need a strong back, strong hand, and a little bit techniques, how to move things, not to scratch them. So if a strong guy joined the moving today, first day on the job, and he worked, you pay him, even though he's not a professional. So the question is a doctor or a mechanic is the same thing like a mover? Or mover, since you don't have to know anything, it's okay. But the doctor, since you have to get a degree, and that's the law, then you're not entitled to get paid. What do you think? According to the Torah, I'm talking.
It's the same thing. The same thing, but the question is why? The question is why?
So the answer to that would be, you have to ask the person who paid the money, the customer, if before the surgery you would know that there is a guy that is not a doctor, but he's 100% will perform the surgery and will cure you. You knew he's not a doctor, but I tell you he knows the best how to cure this problem, and this is how much he charged. Would you care if he's a doctor or not? You want the sickness to go away, no?
Yes.
So that's it. That's what you got. You paid for what you wanted. You wanted A, and you got it.
But now you know he's not a doctor.
I'll give you another example.
If I'm sick and I go to and he tell me, listen, I know how to heal, to, make you better, but I'm not a doctor, that's different.
You're right.
If he doesn't tell
You wouldn't do it because you won't trust him.
Right.
Right. But many times we don't trust people for no reason. You know what? Just the person who went to medical school knows how to cure. You know the Chazon Ish never went to medical school and he knew about brain surgeries. The Gaon Mivilna knew medicine. There are many rabbis who knew medicine without going to medical school. And they cure a lot of people. Rambam didn't go to college or medical school, and he was the doctor of the king of Egypt. So obviously, it's not a guarantee that only if you go to medical school you can be a good doctor. You can work with a good doctor for 5, 6, 7 years, and you have better hands than him. Maybe he drinks, maybe his hand is not so stable, maybe your hand is better. You'll learn from him all these techniques, and your hand is better than him. So now if a patient comes and he sees that the original doctor is not stable with his hand 100%, maybe he got old, and his assistant is much better, who do you think he would choose? The original doctor or the fake one?
It's not a fake, it's an assistant.
I give you another example. Let's say you want to put brakes on your Toyota car. So you come to the dealer, they give you brakes with the stamp of Toyota. So you pay double. Instead of, $100 for brakes, you pay right away $200. Then if somebody comes and bring you fake Toyota brakes, fake, made in Taiwan, whatever, that he show you scientific proofs that his brakes work double time than Toyota original brakes. Better, they're much better.
Yeah,
they're stronger, they're better. Toyota makes it like this because they want to replace every 4 or 5 months brakes. So on purpose they make it, that you come back to them, that they can make millions of dollars.
Right.
But somebody in Taiwan, it wasn't so greedy. I'm just giving an example. We're not talking about Toyota here. I'm just giving an example from life. So the question is, if he shows you fake ones for half a price, would you buy the original one because of the name? Or you would buy, I'm not talking brand name that you go and show off. This is brakes. You can show off. Today people pay for the name. In cosmetic, you go and you buy all these brand names, you pay 10 times more. In the same factory that they make for Estee Lauder and all these big names, they make for all the generic fake one in the same factory, same quality, go from the same factory.
Without the name.
Without the name. And this costs 10 times more. Same factory. It's also in jeans, it's also in suits. They cut the suit in Mexico, in Egypt. And then they put Donna Karen on it. Right away become $400. And they don't have a name, just some kind of a name, made in Egypt, $80. Same suit. Understand? So we are living in a world of a lie. Some people, they want to cooperate with the lie. They want to make a show off. I'm talking something that there's no show off involved. Brakes, there's no show off. A sensor inside your car, there's no show off. The car is a show off. The sensor is not a show off. The question is, would you pay double or you would buy the cheaper one, especially when it's better? Everyone will buy the cheaper one, right? Even people who can afford. So the same thing over here with the doctor, same thing with everything else. If the doctor made a mistake, then obviously you can go full force against him. Understand? But as long as he did the job from the Torah, you must pay him for the job. Anyway, so I started to say, people looking for shortcuts today. Why are they looking for shortcuts? For two reasons. One, the nature of people is almost everyone is lazy. People are lazy. Because people are lazy, they don't want to work too hard. Being religious Jew especially, being a religious Christian is very easy. There's hardly anything to do. You can do whatever you want. You eat whatever you want, you do whatever you want. Nobody tells you what to do, when to pray, how to, very easy life. But to be a kosher Jew is a very difficult job. The Torah is full of instructions, some of them are very difficult to reach. So people are lazy, and they want connection with Hashem. They want to be religious because they know it's for their own good. But it's like they say in English, they want to eat their cake and leave it full. They want to live in two worlds. On one hand, they want to be very holy and close to Hashem because they don't want Hashem to be angry at them. They don't want Hashem to punish them, to be upset at them. They want to make a living. They want to get married. They want to have children. They don't want to be sick. There's many threats. So they don't want to fall in a category of an enemy of God. So they want to be connected to Hashem. I'm not talking about people who don't care about anything. We're talking about people who want to do the right thing. But at the same time, they don't want to sweat for it. Same thing, the guy didn't want to learn 7 years in college, in medical school, to be a doctor. Why should I do it if I can pay $20,000 and tomorrow morning I'm a doctor already? Or why should I learn for the test 3 months from morning to night if I can pay a little bit and someone else will do the test? Or why should I do all kinds of things in life when there is a much easy way out? So this is the nature of people, everyone looking for a shortcut. The question is, in life, sometimes there are shortcuts, like in traffic. There's a long way, there's a short way. You can go from someone's driveway, you can save 45 minutes of a ride. It's huge traffic until you go and until you get in the exit, until you come back from the other side, you already see the traffic. Someone told you about a shortcut. You go in reverse a little bit, you come from here, up, you cut 45 minutes. 45 minutes in America, it's money. You know how they say, time is money. In America, time is money. In Judaism, money it's time. Remember this, it's the other way around. To make more money, the more money you want to make, it comes on the expense of the Torah and the mitzvot. There's a price to pay, right? You say to me, why? There's no religious people who work from 9 to 5, and then they learn and they do mitzvot while they're at work, they make birkat hamazon. Of course, they could be perfectly kosher Jews. But take away the job, they'll be 100 times better. Give them another 9 hours of Torah for the next 40 years. It's millions of mitzvot every week, millions extra. They become much more connected to Hashem. They don't have to be in Manhattan. They don't have to see all the naked ladies on the streets. They don't have to be on the subway and see all the dirty cursing and all the things are going away there. You're not Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. No matter how holy you are, when you go to these filthy places, it brings you down. There's no hocus pocus. No matter who you are, no matter how much you love Hashem, no matter how great is your soul, you go to these places, you hear their language, you see the way they dress, you see things around you, it brings you down. There's no way out of it. No way. So the question is, actually, what is what? Money, it's time. The more money you want, it's gonna take away time. Time, it's Torah. Time, it's connection to Hashem. Time, it's a very important thing. The biggest enemy of a person is losing time. This is the number one trick of the Yetzer Hara. The Satan has a great trick. Who knows how the Satan fools every person all his life with the same trick, and the Satan always win? Who knows? The most popular trick of the Satan.
Procrastination, pushing off.
Very good. He's still young. Still time. Still can be Rav Ovadia, don't worry. He can still be Rabbi Akiva start when he was 40. Yeah, but he also lived to 120. Do you know if you wake up tomorrow morning? Rabbi Akiva started when he was 40. You're only 35. Still have 5 years to go. You live in the same world like Rabbi Akiva. You live in a clean world. You live in a world that there was really nothing besides Torah in the life. With the technology and what's happening today. Plus your brain is the brain of Rabbi Akiva. But that part, the Satan doesn't show you. It makes you only focus on that. What's the rush? Make few millions. And then you will be able to learn all your life. Support yourself. You never need help. You never need donations from the yeshiva. You never have to beg the Rosh Yeshiva to give you a loan because you can't pay the rent. What kind of life the religious people have? You want to be also living this kind of life in a tiny one-bedroom apartment with 9 kids? You don't want that. Be a businessman. Look nice and neat. Have a nice car. Live in a beautiful home. And then learn Torah all your life. Show me one person who did it. I know thousands who thought like that. Show me if one of them made it after he made few millions, if he dropped everything and went to learn Torah.
Yeah, there was few.
Show me one.
Uri Zohar.
Uri Zohar, it's not a good example.
But he became a rabbi.
No, it's not a good example.
It's not a good example. He became a bad Tshuva.
Yeah.
Different.
We're talking someone who's already religious and he doesn't learn Torah. Not someone who aged 40, 50, just found out that he lived in a lie all his life. People like this realize, if I don't do it now, that's it, I'm done. I don't know how to keep mitzvot. I must learn. You want to keep Shabbat, you don't know how. You want to eat kosher, you don't know how. You want to keep nida with your wife, you don't know how. If you're not going to learn, how are you going to be religious? What's the point? You need to know. We're talking someone who knows already. You know brachot, you know Shabbat, you know nida. You know the general things, you know holidays, you know all this. Now you need to learn Gemara, Mishnah. You need to learn serious now. So what do you say? Few more years and I retire. Few more years and I retire. And the Satan say, what's the rush? Another day went, and another day, and another day. And you always have the same feeling. That's okay, it's still plenty of time. You don't believe me? Ask Shimon Peres. 90 years old, still having plans. Still having plans to occupy the world. You know, look, he had a birthday. In his speech, he started to say, what's the plans? Still dreaming about the fake peace with the Arabs. Still living his balloon, in his illusion that one day the Arabs would leave us alone. You understand? You should know one thing. The Arabs, no matter how much damage they do to us, the Arabs are not guilty and they're not the problem at all. You know who are the biggest enemies? The liberal Jews who helps them. Those are the ones who will get all the punishments. Those are the ones, what we call in Israel the Smolanim, the Erev Rav. They demonstrate for them, they get them the money. When finally a terrorist go to jail, they run to release him. When a suicide bomber blow out like 5, 6, 10 children, they go to his parents, they make a sukkah outside, they give candy that their son blow up to pieces. Instead of crying that they lost a son, they're happy that he killed few Jews. So these liberal Jews, they go and they sit on the floor with these Arabs and say, we came to express our condolences to the loss of your child. You don't believe me? Half of Israel is like this.
Sympathy for Shalom Achshav and all this. So
You know that half of Israel is like this.
I'm right wing all my life.
No, but you understand who I'm talking about, no?
And I know exactly what you're talking about.
Very good. Those are the biggest enemies. That's what the Torah says. I didn't write the Torah. מהרסייך ומחריבייך ממך יצאו. מהרסייך ומחריבייך ממך יצאו. By the way, you should know, the first liberal Jews, the first left wing, used to be the Ma'arach and Ratz, 2 parties in the Knesset. Now they changed their names, but the original names is Ma'arach
But
and rats.
They are very fanatics. Those Shalom Machshir. They are like Arabs. I consider them. It's like it doesn't make sense how they think. It's ridiculous.
So I'm saying to you now, המערך and rats, גימטריה, מהרסייך ומחריבייך. What the Torah says, מהרסייך ומחריבייך, המערך ורץ. Check it later, do the math. Hashem already told you who's going to be the destroyer of Israel. You understand? You know, who brought all the Palestinians to Israel?
So Israel is going to be destroyed.
No, who brought the Arabs to Israel? Arafat and 400 gunmen, and gave them weapon, and gave them Jericho, and gave them all the places where they are today. Who? Rabin and Peres and all the left ones. Think about how a Jew that read thousands of books in his life and is an educated person, in general, overall, is not a stupid person. You see, he's an intelligent person. What kind of an intelligent Jew goes to terrorists with so much blood on their hands that knows that they will die for their nonsense a book to kill as many Jews as they can and offer them to come and live with me in my country? What kind of a normal person? Imagine even in America, right? Do you find that America would offer Al-Qaeda, friends of Bin Laden, all the ones in Pakistan? They say, let's make peace. We'll invite you to live in New York, and we'll give you the whole Bronx. And we'll make peace for the future of our children.
Well, they do that anyway.
Well, they don't do that. The Americans are not dumb. The Israelis are much dumber.
The Arabic immigration increased drastically since 9/11 to America.
Not only that, there's something like supposedly 90.
So I take it back. So I guess they're also dumb. What do you want me to tell you? I didn't know the Americans let more terrorists come into this country after 9/11. I know they made the laws of immigration a lot harder. So in that case, you should have made it much harder for people with Middle Eastern ID to come to America.
Not only that, they recruit them to the United States Army Services. And they train the people who actually join the U.S. military. They train United States military, the culture, the Middle Eastern culture, how to behave with Arabs, how to put your head down.
Okay, you convinced me. So the Americans are just as dumb as the Israelis. So the Russians are not dumb like this.
Even worse.
There was?
Even worse.
They also let their enemies come to Russia and be in the Russian army?
30% Islamists who live in Russia right now.
No, but
the official
that's
population.
already for hundreds of years there's Muslims in Russia.
True.
There's nothing you can do. You have to understand, I mean, Russia can do whatever they want because they're not democracy really. So I'm surprised, I mean, but countries like France, England, America, that's it, there's nothing you can do. The only way to get rid of any potential terrorist, right? Obviously we see the statistics show that for every 100 terrorists, 99% of them are Muslims. So the statistics don't lie, you know? So the only way to get rid of these terrorists, obviously not everyone is a terrorist, but if you had a choice, do I try to start investigate and invest billions of dollars who's a terrorist and who's not, or I just get rid of everyone and the terrorism is over, right? But you cannot do it, because if you're democracy, everyone has rights, and everyone is innocent until proven guilty. So the only way to do it is to change the law of democracy. You have to become a dictatorship. And no one in America will ever agree to it. Maybe now in France, they will be forced to do it. Because the French people already realized that if they're not going to do it now, in 20 years from now, they lost France. France is a rich country with long history. They're about to become all Muslims now. That's it. In Paris, they closed blocks in the middle of the street. Thousands of them. They block the entire block for half an hour. The police standing on the side and there's nothing they can do.
They do the same thing in Moscow now too.
Oh, so you understand? So this is it now. The question is, you try to be politically correct, you try with human rights, you ended up dead. You have to decide, what do you want? You want to be correct and decent, human rights and all that nonsense, and then be dead and let them take over and drink our blood with a straw? Or you want to be nasty and ugly and people will criticize you and maybe for hundreds of years they will write about you in a history book, but you stay alive and you get your country back. That's it. Understand what's the point here? That's really what it comes down. I'm not saying what to do. I'm not a politician. I'm just saying, I know that beyond politics, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants will happen one way or the other. I want to tell you, one rabbi said, I heard it in one of the speeches, or I read it somewhere. He said, the European killed the Jews. The Jews never shot anyone in their country. They never put bombs. They never blocked traffics. They only helped medicine and science and novels and music and politics and every field in Europe. The Jews improved it by thousands of %. They contributed to the culture of this country more than any other group. So they killed the Jews, and Hashem say, what do you want? You don't want my children? No problem. You kick the children out or you kill them, I'll give you something better. What did he give them? He gave them the Muslims. Now it's all midah keneged midah. So to feel bad for them, I don't really feel bad for them. You understand? But I feel bad for the Jews there. The Jews cannot walk with the yarmulke in Europe anymore. I was in Belgium. You don't feel comfortable with the yarmulke at all. The airports is full of them. They look at you with hostile. Yeah. You know what's good about them? They're not hypocrites. So one thing I want to tell you about these Muslims, which we have to learn from them. When they hate you, you feel it. You feel it. There's no liberal Arabs that fight for Jewish rights. You don't find them. You understand? Maybe there's 1 out of 1,000,000.
Yeah.
When he begins to talk, that's 0 out of 1,000,000. That's really what happened. Think about it, So this is reality. Only in countries like Israel or United States, you have thousands of lunatics standing outside demonstrating for rights of murderers. You understand?
I've seen it next to the United Nations.
That's
a Jewish woman with the big Star of David.
That's what's happening.
Rome, the dictator.
That's what's happening. You understand? Also, you have to know one thing. There's most of the people in the world, unfortunately, are not bright. You have to understand. I mean, the world is designed in a way that maybe 10 or 15% of the people in the world are very sharp. They're clever. They have good mind. The minds. They analyze things correctly. Most of the people, like sheep. You have to move the sheep to whenever you want. Like one dictator, like Hitler, he started to scream like crazy. All of a sudden, millions of Germans and then Austrians started to follow him. Even the ones who were not anti-Semite, he brainwashed them so quickly that they right away became monsters just as bad as him. Same thing in the Muslim world. You have one in a mosque. None of them knows how to read Quran in most of the countries. They come on Friday to the mosque. They are naive believers. Whatever they tell them, they believe. He will tell them today, this mitzvah to go and kill all Jews from the Quran. One of them will ask, where does it say it? He said it's mitzvah to steal from the Jews. Not one of them would ask where. I'll give you an example. There's one Arab who converted. One Arab. One time I met him in Queens. I came to a place where I speak, and he was there. He came before my lecture to speak to the guys there. So I asked him, what made you convert? I know there's no Arabs who convert, really. It's very, very, very rare. You can count on one hand in a generation how many are. Maybe Christians once, but Muslims is very rare. So I asked him what really happened. So he told me, I was in school, in Muslim school, and the teacher there said that God left the Jews after the sin of the golden calf. So I asked him, but we read in the Torah, they read in the same Torah. We read in the Torah that 40 years after the sin of the golden calf, God was still with them every moment. He helped them to win the wars. He gave them bread from heaven. He let them occupy the Holy Land. He did so many. Joshua blew the shofar. The walls of Jericho fell. They got the Holy Land. So many miracles, So after the sin of the golden calf, he gave them the second 10 commandments. If he left them, why he gave one out of billion who think? So guess what happened? Of course, they don't have an answer, so they kicked him out of school. So he had no choice. He had to go and search for something by the Jews. Didn't plan to convert. That's how he got saved. But the question that I'm asking you, they tell this lie every day, every hour, in every Muslim school all over the world, every Friday, in every mosque, for decades. How come only one Arab realized that they're all a bunch of liars? How come? Where are all the others? How come? They don't think. The people don't think. I'm sorry to disappoint you. The Jews are not that much better. Not that much better. Most of the Jews today are very easy to manipulate and to brainwash them 1, 2, 3. And one person decides to affect a group of people. Most people don't have the right skills and the right brain to realize what's real and what's not. For instance, there are many stories that they write, the miracles of the sages. In the old days, in the times of the Talmud, the holy rabbis of those days, they used to make a lot of miracles. But nowhere in the Talmud it said that we have to admire them for their miracles. Nowhere. Only for their knowledge of Torah and for the holiness. Never for the magics that they were able to do. Nowhere. The opposite. The Talmud say, if you are impressed by a person who is able to perform magics, you're a fool. That's not an indication of anything. And it's even in the Torah. The Egyptians, Khartoumim, the students of Paro, they took the stick and made it into a snake by throwing it on the floor. So obviously you see filthy people, they can make magics. That's not a sign of anything. Most of the magic is all tricks. They use fast hands and they fool the eyes of a person. It's very interesting. I used to have a cousin, we were kids. He used to take a knife, take 3 little pieces of paper, make them wet, put them on one side of the knife, and he used to move it so quick. No matter what side you would pick, it was always on the other side, hundreds of times. But it was always his trick. No one was able to see. Same thing, the guys, they take the lids of the Coca-Cola, and they put a little paper ball inside, and they go like this, and people on the street put their money and they always lose. How come nobody sees what they do? And they always lose. Or with the cards. They have tricks. The eyes is not as fast as their hands. Like many of the magicians, they do tricks. If you wouldn't know the magics is tricks, you would believe they have divine powers. Like all these famous magicians, they cut people in half, they move their legs here, they move their head there, they do all kinds of things. Little children believe in it. Little children also believe when they watch television that the man is inside the box. Not anymore. Today the box is too flat. When I was a kid, it was a big box. So I used to come between the holes in the back and say, where is this guy sitting? And all you felt is heat coming in your face. That's the old television. But an adult used to laugh. The mind of an adult works better than the mind of a kid. So let's go back to what I say. Today, it's very easy to manipulate people. It's very easy. Now remember, people looking for shortcuts. So the beginning point is already very easy, because you give them what they're looking for. So if you're a faker, all what you have to do is to feed the requesters from what they are searching for, right? A person that is sick is looking for easy medicine. He doesn't want to go to open heart surgery. He will hope that he will go to some, what we call rabbi or Kabbalist, that will go hocus pocus. He will write him a nice check and the problem will be over in a week, like he promised him. You understand? How many of them make an investigation to see how many thousands of cases like this came to him and how many of them really got cured? Nobody. It's enough that they heard 3 or 4 people who reports that this Baba cured them. They already guarantee. It's guarantee. What? You're questioning the tzaddik? That's what they say. Shame on you, Rasha. You're an apikores. How don't you trust the tzaddik? You know? Later, when he dies, or when he lost his money, before he dies, it's too late already. What are you going to tell him? I told you? Of course, when he called and tried to ask for the money back, you know he won't get any money, right? So the idea is, it's all over the world. It's by Muslims, it's by Christians, it's by many, many places. I saw here something very interesting, you know, which is, if I read it to you, you will understand what we're talking here about. Let's see if I'll find it. While I'm talking, I'm going to try to look for it. You know, there's a place by the Christians, some kind of a city, that somebody told a story, and now 200 million Christians already went to this town, and they believe that by going to this town, it cures them from all their sicknesses.
What's the name of the town?
I'll find it in a minute. So, do you know that they made a real investigation? You know? And the investigation showed that that city did not increase the remedy to the people even by 1% from the average normal remedy. Not everyone died. For every 1,000 cancer patients, X amount die, X amount live, with or without that city. But of course, when you went to that city and you got cured, who do you give the credit to? To that fairy tale. Understand? So this is what's happening today, that people are following what they want to believe, not the truth. Do you think it's only religion? No, it's in science. Same thing. Do you know that almost all the scientists lie in the research? Almost all of them. Almost every scientist who claimed something, when double or triple checked him, they found scams, they found bribes, they found changing results of the thing. Why? The scientist already come with a solid opinion, what's his truth. And he will make the research to prove his point. While in the middle of his research, if he finds points that prove the opposite, he will ignore them completely. That's the way people are. But when he finds things that even 20% backing up his theory, he will make a very big deal out of it. Why? Money from the government, promotion in a college, in a university. Do you know that the universities? Yeah. Do you know that the university get money, aids? They get all kinds based on progress. The government say, okay, you want to develop this cure? No problem, we'll give it to you. But you have to prove to us so far what background you have. So every little thing they build a case. Now if after 3 months they test and they see they didn't reach the right results, it's a death sentence to the faculty of science for that university. So they begin to lie. They begin to bribe people. Sometimes it leads to murders even. They're murdering. People murder each other to hide information. You understand? There's a lot of... here, I'll give you an example. There are some who say that you're not allowed to count on any scientific research. No matter what science say, you cannot trust them. Why? Because they always go to the favor of the funder of the research. These big giant companies, like pharmaceutical companies, they are the one who pay for the research. What you gonna go? You're gonna go against them? If a company like Teva, or one of these huge generic medicine company that worth $20-30 billion each, and they pay X amount of millions for research. They pay the salary of the scientists, they give them cars, they give them credit cards, they give them everything they need. And it's going on for 2-3 years. Why do you think they do it? That you prove that their medicine is a lie, it's placebo? No. They already put enough pressure on you. You must come up with solid proofs that our medicine is productive. If you want us to support you for the next 5 years, when you're done with this research. So now, even scientists that are honest, usually, they are persuaded to lie. Because they think about their children, their wives, they're going to get fired. This company, you don't deal with them. The President of the United States is in their pocket. The FDA is in their pocket. The FBI is in their pocket. They own this country. They decide everything what's happening here. They decide who's going to be the next president, in case you didn't know. All this big oil and pharmaceutical. They own America. If tomorrow they want a different president to be, or different vice president, the ones they want will be for sure. Just depend how much money they want to put for it. They pay for his campaign. They pay for the advertisement. They pay people whatever they want to do. They have unlimited amount of money. And if they find someone who developed a medicine for a disease, which is going to give them billions of dollars damage, let's say they have a pill against cholesterol. Every other person take, when he gets to 40, pills against cholesterol. You know, we eat fats, mozzarella cheese, steaks, these. People have cholesterol. Not that it was ever proven that cholesterol kill people. One doctor told me, believe it or not, people sometimes with cholesterol of 200 and something died. People who close to 500 lived long life. Cholesterol, it's not what people think, but I don't want to get into it now. But overall, they sell billions of dollars every year for this pill. Now, if a young Israeli scientist will develop a pill that you take it once and you will never have cholesterol in your life, do you know what it means for them? That they're going to lose $50 billion in the next 20 years. They'll give their life for it. So first, they come with peace offers. They come to him and say, we'll buy your invention. We'll buy it. First, let's buy it. How much you want? We'll give you $3 million. Most of the time is young scientists. They don't have a penny. They work for years with no budget. Finally, there's a breakthrough. Or even it's the beginning of a process, they want to buy it now before it turns into a medicine. They want to kill it now, before the baby is growing. Let's kill him now. It's only the beginning of the pregnancy. Why waiting for the 9 month? It's the first month. So they want to buy it now. He doesn't want. Then the threatenings begin. Until you hear he died. Now when they buy it, they decide what to do. If they think we will complete it and then we will sell it, they can sell this pill for $1,000 a piece. So they do the calculation. It's worth it for us. Still worth it for us. Then they'll develop it to the market. If not, they bury it. Why? It's politics. Now you ask me, how HaKadosh Baruch Hu let something like this happen? David HaMelech asked, Ad matai reshaim ya'alozu? Until when the wicked people will celebrate in this world? Now, who can give me a reason why Hashem is not interfering with them and let them do whatever they want? Why?
Because Jews are not deserving.
Not Jews. Most of the world is goyim. Forget Jews for a minute. Why the world has to suffer because of all these big companies? Why you have to pay so much money for gas? In Venezuela, they give the gas for nothing, for free. You can put whatever you want. Peanuts. Few pennies it costs. Right? They say in America there's more gas than Venezuela. They just don't take it out of the ground. What do? Maybe they keep it for days. I don't know really the politics behind it. Plus, United States occupied Iraq. Iraq is one of the major suppliers. There's enough oil in Iraq for every American to drive his car for 50 cents a gallon. So what's the problem? So I always thought to myself, how the Americans are so foolish. They spend hundreds of billions of dollars in this lousy war to put Saddam out of power, and they're not taking the oil to pay back for their expenses at least? Why, when they build a broken highway, they put a toll $14 every day, and they say it's only for a few years until you pay for the highway, and it stays somehow until Mashiach would come? They never cancel the toll. They already pay 50 times for that highway. But the tolls don't go away. They only go higher every 2-3 months. So why, if this is the mentality of America, why they have such mercy on Iraq? Until someone told me, you fool. Of course they do it. But they steal all the money. The ones in the White House, the top, they take all the money. Same thing when America collapsed financially a few years ago. Every other American lost his home. Fannie Mae, this, Freddie, all these things. Banks are collapsing. So the banks told the White House, there's 19 major banks that the government must keep them in business. If not, America is finished. That's it. There's no banking system. You cannot run a country like this without banks, without checks, wires. That's it. The country is up. People will kill each other on the street. So the bank knows it. So they let the banks that are not the top 19 go down. But the top ones, they kept them in business by giving them hundreds of billions. They wanted to help the American people, not to go foreclosure. They gave the money to the banks, and the bank kept the money. They didn't give it to the American people. They gave a little bit. They offer short sales, all kinds of. They worked it out. They extended the time until foreclosure, but in the end, they take their money one way or the other. So the government gave them the money, and the bank kept all the money. So why the government do nothing? The bank is a mafia. What do you think the bank is? They tell the government, you go under us, we'll declare bankruptcy. Well, there's nothing you can do. You understand? There's so much corruption. So the question is, why Hashem let it happen? I'm asking you, why? The answer is, people has to die in this world. They have to die. If no one would die, in 3 years you're going to have 30 billion people on earth. You know what's going to happen? There's not going to be enough food for people. People will start killing each other and become cannibals. Don't look at America. We live in New York. We see a lot of wealth. Most of the people in the world cannot afford more than bread and rice. There are children who never saw a piece of meat in their life on their table, or chicken or fish. Go to most of the Middle East, the deserts, or even in countries like Saudi, which they are so wealthy, they have all the oil, and the sheikhs, they're worth hundreds of billions. Most of the people over there starve for food. In most of the countries, look at what's happening in Egypt now. Look at Syria, look at Georgia, almost every country, they're poor. South America, almost everyone is poor. Mexico, besides Mexico City, and some other cities, everyone is poor. Israel, 60-70% of the people are poor. America, do you know you have houses in Philadelphia, $15,000 an apartment to buy? Go to Vegas, billions of dollars every day on the tables. All around Vegas, everyone barely can afford a meal. Most of Americans are very poor. There are people in America make $7 an hour, and they have to support a family for it. And a toll, you go to the bridge, a toll, to go from Muncie to Queens is $28 tolls. And he makes $7 an hour, and he has to feed 4 children. You understand? The situation in the world is far from being ideal. People have to die. If every sickness in the world, Hashem would let them come up with a medicine, it will ruin the plan on the creation. So X amount of people has to die. The question is, who's going to fall into this formula? X amount of people has to die to maintain the world. If there's going to be unlimited birth, look in China. China, they realize if we allow people to have as many kids as they want, in 10 years we'll be starving here. What's going to be? We have right now 1.5 billion. If you allow only one kid, you'll never grow. One Chinese die, one Chinese is born. One Chinese die, one Chinese is born. If you allowed unlimited, they have 3-4 kids a family. One Chinese die, 3 are born. In 10 years, you're going to have 3 billion Chinese. In 20 years, 6 billion Chinese. In 100 years, you're going to have 30 billion Chinese people. What do you think is going to happen? They're not going to stay in China. There's nothing to eat there. They'll go all over the world. Everywhere you go, you see Chinese people. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to monitor the situation in the world. So he let it grow slowly but surely. Yeah, it used to be 1 billion, now it's 7 billion. 7 billion people. From 1 to 7. But it has to be limited. That's why there's epidemics. Every once in a while, 50 million people die, 100 million people die. Cancer, look what's going on with cancer now. Cancer wasn't an epidemic 30 years ago. When I was a kid, it was very rare to hear about people dying from cancer. Today I hear about it every hour. Everywhere you go. What happened? Died. What? Cancer. You don't ask anymore. It's a cancer or heart attack. One of the two. Check the statistic. Cancer 50 years ago was the same rate like today? No. Why? There was not that many people in the world. Hashem has to clean the world. That's it. There's nothing he can do. So therefore, he lets some sicknesses take a lot of people. They invent a medicine for the cancer, something new would come. It's a part of balancing the creation. Also the number of the trees in the world. Hashem has to always make sure there's X amount of trees in the world. If there will be too much trees, we will all die here. If there will be not enough trees, we will all die. It has to be X amount of trees for us to live here. Why? The trees release oxygen to space. If you add billions of trees right now to the world, the next cigarette someone would light, the whole world will go on fire. Because there's going to be so much oxygen in the air. Sometimes you go to places with oxygen room, they have big sign. Be careful, no cigarettes, no sign, not even cell phone. You're not allowed to come. Why? Oxygen is explosive. If the trees will release so much oxygen, the next person lights a cigarette or some airplane takes off in JFK, the whole world goes on fire. Or half of New York. So it cannot be. If there's not going to be enough trees, we won't be able to breathe. Everywhere you go, people with asthma, everyone. No one can walk. No one will do physical work. There's not going to be movers. There's not going to be no sport, no nothing. No one will be able to breathe. What kind of life is this? Hashem must keep X amount of trees. There are more than 2 million species in nature. Hashem has to make sure which species is X amount and which one is not. Everything is connected. You know, I said in one of the lectures that in Europe, they believe that cats is the devil. Cats. That's why they say in Israel, this guy has the soul of a cat. Neshama shel chatul. Sheva neshamot, 7 souls. There's all kinds of theories. So they used to kill the cats in Europe. So what happened? All of a sudden they have millions and millions of rats. And then caused the black plague. The black plague. And then many people died. So they saw that the Jews, it doesn't affect them so much. So they say, oh, the Jews did it. They put poison in the water, in the whales. That's why we're all dying. You understand? So it just show you that if there's not going to be enough cats, we'll die. If there's going to be too many cats, we'll also... Everything has a purpose in the creation. Everything. I want to read it to you. Listen good. It says like this. Every research that is published by scientific magazine has to declare for his financial source. That's a new law that came recently. And also a statement of conflict of interest. You're working for a company who make cholesterol pills. We cannot rely on your judgment for this medicine against cholesterol. And of course you go to their side. Or how can we trust you? It's like asking a father that is a judge to judge his own son. You trust him? And if he let his son go, you can blame him? You can't even blame him. If the scientist gets his money and he feeds his children from this company, and then he come up with things that they like to hear. Can't even blame him. What do you want? Doesn't trust Hashem to feed him. Doesn't know Hashem b'chlal. This Chinese scientist, or Indian, or British, whatever. You understand? So it says like this. Scientific research has to be open for criticism. You bring everything you claim that you found and let other scientists redo the entire steps from A to Z to come up with the same results. If it's not open for other scientists to contradict you or to back you up, it's not an objective science. You cannot rely on it. Third problem, no matter how impressive is the results of a scientific research, it can never be accepted by the scientific community as an absolute truth. Only after many years of experience and many other scientific research back up the original research and discoveries, like with Albert Einstein. 7 years. The whole world was checking him. 7 years. Everyone came with the same results, but it took them 7 years to admit. The whole world is checking. Not one of them say is right. Only 7 years later. Right? So if it cannot be verified, it will be hanging as pending results. We cannot accept what they say. It's a theory. Right? Usually, you should know that when the big companies pay for research, it usually cause the world more damage than help the world. Usually, today, for instance, in America, they force the cigarettes company like Philip Morris to put a warning. They wanted to take much bigger actions against them, but they bribed Congress members and they blocked it. They wanted to show pictures, they wanted to do all kinds of things, that when a person sees it, he gets scared to smoke, but they don't let it. So they compromise on a little warning. Everything is politics, because there's also the other side. You understand? There's two sides to there's politicians who back up side A, politicians who back their opponents. Depend who has more money and who has more power. We should know one thing. A person has to serve Hashem, not to wait for Hashem to serve him. Hashem takes care of all our needs, we know it. But a person did not come to the world to sit and wait for Hashem to do everything for him. Many times you find religious people, they say, where is your emunah? Why you work so hard? Work only 3-4 hours a day and let Hashem take care of all the problems. That's what the Torah says. So they're not lying, but there's only one problem. The Torah said it, but the Torah has a condition to it. The condition is attached to it. If you ignore the condition, it's not a true statement. What's the condition? You don't have to put efforts in work, and you can count on Hashem to take care of all your needs if you really trust Hashem. If you don't trust Hashem, He won't do it for you. You'll have to do it for yourself. So now you ask me, how do I know if I trust Hashem or not? I don't know how to rate myself. Compared to my friend, I'm a very big tzaddik. Compared to my rabbi, I'm a very big rasha. In emunah I'm talking, in faith. So what am I considered? Rich in faith or poor in faith? Same thing in money. An American average person who makes $4,000 a month is considered poor in this country. He has to support a family. Just his rent is more than half. He can put food on the table. But if he goes to Israel, all the Israelis would say, wow, you make $4,000 a month, lucky guy. In Israel, it's a decent salary. And if he goes to India, he's a millionaire. In some of the African islands, can live a whole year with what he makes here in Brooklyn. So it's all depend who you're comparing him to, right? Many times as American goyim, they contact me and they want me to help them to convert. 90% of the cases, they never get to convert for one reason. I tell them, I live in New York. I can help you if you move to New York. I cannot help you in Texas. I cannot help you in Tennessee or in New Orleans. I can't help you there. So when they find out the cost of living in New York, they just can't afford to move here. They have a home there, they bought it for $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 home. In New York, you don't buy a bathroom for $60,000. Bathroom, a shed from wood, would cost you more. So when they realize the prices here, they go crazy. So, no matter how much we saved, what can we do with that? You understand? So, how does a person know if he has faith or not? Because it's very important to know. Because if you really have a believer, you don't have to kill yourself. Hashem will do everything for you. And if you're not a believer, you live in a dream. You live in illusion. When you live in illusion, when you find out it was an illusion, it's too late and it's too painful. So you must know right now that you're in illusion before it's too late. So how would you know? How do you know? Who knows what's the elements that you check to inquire what's the level of emunah that you have? You have cold water here somewhere?
אמיר, תביא מים קרים בערב.
No, who knows? What's the indication? Water, it's better. Water. Huh? Nobody knows? How can it be? Most important question in life, nobody knows?
I have no idea.
Who thinks is a believer here?
I'm sorry?
Who thinks is a real believer here?
I am.
A real believer?
Real believer.
You trust that everything is from Hashem?
100%.
Now,
1000%.
now tell me, but if we already started to go on a personal level, thank you. You have to promise me that you only answer me the truth. Remember, it's recorded. Not only here, it's recorded in Shamayim. Does it ever happen to you that you worry about your future income?
Yes.
So you're not a believer. That's
I'm
it.
not worried. I'm telling you the truth.
In other words, the Gemara says, someone that has what to eat today and thinking what's going to be tomorrow is not a believer.
Let me tell you something. I'm worried more about my health condition in the future. What that means.
Okay, I can give you a discount on health, because health, it's not as like a parnassa. It's different channel of emunah.
You're telling me Hashem is killing people.
Yes.
So
No,
I have good reason.
No, I tell you what the problem with health. The problem with health is that not only wicked people get sick, not only wicked people get to die. Even righteous people sometimes become sick and they die young. That's what scares people. If you saw righteous people live long life and wicked people always die young, then you would know what to expect. I want to live this rotten life knowing I'm going to die in my 40. But at least I want to do whatever I want. You don't tell me what to do. You want to kill me in 40, fine. But I'll do whatever I want. But it's no indication that if you're now going to say, okay, I'm going to live exactly according to the book, that's guaranteed that I'm going to live to 90. That's what scares a lot of people. This is also nonsense. Why? A true believer doesn't have to be worried about being sick. Doesn't have to be worried about dying. Doesn't have to be worried about what's going to be with my children when I die young and they'll stay orphan and no one will bring them food home. If he worry about these things, it shows that he's not a believer in Hashem. He doesn't believe in Hashem. Why? Hashem never brings a sickness before he brings the cure first. If a little kid's father has to die, Hashem already organized the solution for his family before he gets killed. The process begins. That's why we say every day, Baruch Gozer Umkayem. Hashem makes the decree and he gives us the strength to handle it. All the widows, and the day that their husbands died, they all said, I don't know what I'm going to do, I have nothing to eat, the rent is next week, who's going to feed my children? I agree, they were in a horrible situation. They did not exaggerate, I agree. Horrible. Reality-wise, did you see one family that the father died and they got kicked to the street and they lived in the middle of Tel Aviv or New York or, I don't know, Zimbabwe? In the end, somehow, go and make an investigation how. I already saw many times how. You don't believe? Go and check. Somehow, everyone made it. They suffer for a year or two, I'm not saying no. In the end, everyone made it. Hashem raised these orphans, he gave them shidduchim, they got married. I want to tell you a story. You heard about, before I tell you who the story is, first let me tell you the story, and then you tell me if you know who I'm talking about. There was one pregnant woman that the doctor told her, you must make she had 8 kids. She was pregnant with her 9 kids. They told her, you must make an abortion. Your life is in a risk. That was about 110 years ago, this story. About 110 years ago. So they told her, you have to make an abortion. If not, you can die. You have a high chance to die. She said, I'm not making an abortion. Whatever happened to me, happened to me. I don't lose the baby. She sacrificed her life for that baby. In the end, the baby was born. The baby was born. Later, the woman didn't die, but she was willing to die for that baby, but she didn't die. And later, all 8 of her sons that were before this baby got killed in the Holocaust. And the only baby that survived is that kid.
It's a true story?
Yeah, true story. And that kid grew to be the biggest rabbi in the whole world. Who was he? Rav Shach. Rav Shach himself told the story. Rav Shach. Everything in Israel today, whatever the yeshivot, Shas, for the Sfaradim, he started everything. But I said once, they made an article about him in the New York Times, how an old man, 107 years old, has so much power. And one word of him, everyone decide what to do, what not to do. There's no water here, or should water cost millions here? Huh? I'm not afraid to drink water from the faucet. I know in America you already look like crazy if you drink from the faucet. I drink from the faucet in my house even if I have a bottle next to it. Not that he teach the children any musar, but by the way, just that you know, the water in the faucet are cleaner than the water in the bottles. Think again when you carry all these heavy bottles. No, they made a research, scientific research. And they proved that the water in the faucet was better than the water from the bottles.
They find out the water in the toilet after research is cleaner than the ice that you get in the junk food.
But that's not on Saturday night.
No.
Saturday night and Sunday, it's not the case. After the chulent of Shabbos.
The ice in McDonald's, and the water in the toilet was cleaner than the ice in McDonald's.
McDonald's. Oh, now I understand.
I heard that he was research is like a.
I heard one American guy took a video with his iPhone about some chain that sell meat, burgers, and how they take spoiled meat, and when they come from the government to check, they take all the spoiled meat to the garage outside, they leave it in the sun, make it even worse, and when they leave, they bring it back in and they sell it to their customers. Restaurants is always a risk. If you don't really know the owner 100%, you know he's a decent person, not greedy, tzaddik, afraid of Hashem, can't really eat by him. Really. You know. Anyway, so where were we? So Rav Shach, we're done with the story. So we go back. How do you know if you're a believer or not? In everything that you're about to do or not to do, you have to check how much you're scared about it or not. For instance, you're a single guy. You're not married. So they tell you, Moshe, why don't you go to Shatchanim, Shatchaniot? Go on the internet. There's a lot of Orthodox Jews website. You increase your chances to get married. Why, do you want to stay single for the rest of your life? So what's his answer is, no, I trust Hashem to find me my soulmate. That's a very nice answer. The question is he really in this level, or he just hallucinating that he's in his level? Why it's important? If he's really in this level, he really doesn't have to do anything whatsoever. Not shatchanim, not ask people about shidduchim. The shidduch will come to his hand on a silver platter. But if when he say it, he feel butterfly in his heart, but what if I'll stay single? But what if? That means he has no emunah in Hashem. If you don't have enough emunah, Hashem say, you must make an effort to get married. Go on dates, go to shatchanim, send your email profiles, try to go to the kosher single events, do everything you need to do to get married. Why? Because you don't trust me, I won't help you. You will have to work very hard to find your shidduch. Shidduch is here, I won't bring her to you. The Gemara say, even a mamzer in one side of the world and a mamzeret in the other side of the world, Hashem brings them to the same intersection and make a match between them, because they cannot marry anyone, just their own kind. An illegitimate boy, an illegitimate girl, from a married woman who cheated on her husband, they can't marry regular people. They have to marry only children like them. There's a black list in Israel, in the religion office. So they check every name, if you're allowed to get married or not. If not, they don't hold the marriage liable. So the Torah says, Lo yavo mamzer bik'al Hashem. A mamzer cannot marry just everyone. He can marry his own kind or a convert. That's it. So the Torah says, he's in Japan and she is in America, and Hashem brings them to Canada, both of them, and they meet each other. And both of them they don't know their mamzerim. She doesn't know her mother cheated on her father, and he doesn't know his mother cheated on his father. They both think their father is their father. And they meet, and Hashem does it, that they meet each other. Why? If each one of them will meet a kosher Jew that is not a mamzer, so now the children of that marriage will also be mamzerim, then eventually the whole nation will be mamzerim. Because every mamzer, it's like someone who has AIDS. If he married the one that has AIDS, so if their children will be born with AIDS, but it's only AIDS with AIDS. But if one that have AIDS goes with one that doesn't have AIDS, if let's say there's 1 million people that have AIDS, each one of them would marry 1 million people that don't have AIDS. What's going to happen? They have children with AIDS, they'll marry someone without, they marry, in 20, 30 years the whole world would have AIDS. But if only AIDS with AIDS goes together, it will minimize the number of the cases of AIDS. This is an example how it works. Chas v'shalom, mamzer is not someone who have AIDS. Mamzer can be a very big rabbi, can give him big kavod. He's even more important than Kohen that doesn't know Torah. But he has one limitation. What's his limitation? He has to marry his own kind, as I said. So Hashem takes care of the shidduchim, it's obvious. But how easy you're going to get it, it depends on how much you trust him. Same thing in Parnasah. If you know, today I ate what to eat, good. Yesterday I ate, yes. I'm 30 years old, I always had what to eat. Somehow I always had what to eat. Now they tell me go to college. Go to college. How long? 4 years. So many people ask me this question. I dropped out of college. I need 2 more years to complete. Should I go or it's all nonsense? So I said, do you trust Hashem to feed you without the college? Or you worry you really won't have a job and you won't have income? From their answer you see if they worry or not. One guy in yeshiva said, I'm not worried at all. You don't need to go. One guy said, well, obviously, I won't have a good job. As soon as a person answers me an answer like this, I know his level of emunah is close to 0. So I tell him, so do what you have to do. You believe that college will bring you the money, go to college. You trust Hashem to give you the money, you don't need college, you don't need a store, you don't need anything. Somehow Hashem will feed you. And when you have children, He'll feed them also. He will feed you always. You just have to trust Him. This is the best, easy way to make money. Just to elevate your level of emunah. The more emunah you have, the easier you make your money. Now I'll give you an example. The Torah, Hashem say to us, don't save man for tomorrow. Eat everything today. There are a few people who didn't trust it. They hear it from Hashem. Don't live for tomorrow. They left for tomorrow. It all became worms. Why Hashem got angry? What do you care? You gave them 1 kilo of man. He ate half a kilo and half he left for tomorrow. He's a fool. He could have eaten a whole kilo today. Tomorrow you give him a new kilo. He left half for tomorrow. So tomorrow you gave him half a kilo. So he lost. He could eat every day kilo. He's cutting from his own food. So why you made the half a kilo worms? Leave it in the closet. Why today Hashem doesn't make our saving worms? We all save money, no? Why when you go to the bank you don't find all the money you put in the safe became all worms? Why when why the world is different today? Why? Why the Torah brought us that story? Hashem wanted to teach us the right way. The right way. But there are many wrong ways, and Hashem adjusts Himself to us. If we don't have emunah, why half of the Torah is court cases about money? Reuven stole from Shimon stole from Reuven, Shimon knocked down the wall of Shimon's house, who's gonna pay? That, all kinds of things. He gave him merchandise, it was rotten, there was fire, who's gonna pay for the fire? Your ox hit his sheep. Why? Half of the Torah is this. If a person had emunah in Hashem, no one would sue anyone ever. You won't need a court. You won't need police. You won't need all this. Look how much we suffer because we don't have faith. If somebody stole from you, he doesn't have emunah. But you know that Hashem is feeding you. You don't deserve to lose what he stole from you. So why going to court, stand online, taking lawyers, standing like a fool, trying to get what he stole from you? If you trust Hashem, say, what's the difference? Anyway, yesterday I trusted Hashem to give me, and the day before, I still trust Him to give me tomorrow. He has a problem giving me 100 or 1,000 or 50,000. What's the problem? There's no difficulty for Hashem to give me 1,000 or 50,000 tomorrow. This is what we say. ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעיתו. You always give us the money and the food in the right timing. Sometimes you can go 20 years poor, and now when you have to marry your children, in 2 years you married all of them, and you wonder, how did I do it? with the salary of a teacher. Don't ask too much questions. When it needs to get done, I'm doing it anyway for you. So the idea is, what's happening here? The idea is like this. One guy, American guy, went to yeshiva in Tzfat. He was in yeshiva for a few years. Then he decided the yeshiva is a waste of time for him. Lunch break, this, Musar. He said to him, you know what? I'm going to lock myself in an apartment. The apartments in Tzfat were very, very cheap in those days. So he rented himself a room for $100 a month. And he locked himself in a room and he didn't come out of the room. That's it. Now he thinks he's Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in a cave. He asked one of his friends from the yeshiva, all I need from you is one favor. Once a week, I'll give you money, you go to the grocery, bring me some cheese, milk, bread, whatever, basic stuff that I can survive. Once a week, that's it. I don't want to come down, I don't want to see people. I don't come out of this room. 3 years he's in a room. Every week his friend comes. His friend is Israeli, he's American. He said to him, man, I don't understand you. If you lock yourself in this room, you're never going to get married. No one knows about you. Who would know what to offer you shidduch? Even if somebody wants to offer you shidduch, he doesn't know where you are. So the Israeli guy had the point or no? What do you think?
Yes.
So the American guy answered, if Hashem wants me to marry, He will bring me my shidduch to the door here. So the guy said to him, it doesn't work this way. So he said, I'm praying every day with all my heart to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that when the time comes for me to get married, don't want to waste time on dates, I don't want to go around to look, I don't want to get disappointed, I want to sit and learn Torah. When the time for me to get married will come, send me my date, my shidduch, to knock on my door. So the Israeli guy say, keep dreaming. Think you Moshe Rabbeinu, fine. But he really believed in that, this American guy. He wasn't afraid. That's why he locked himself in a room. No hesitation. After 3 years, someone knocked on his door. And it wasn't the day that the guy brings the food. Nobody knocks on the door. He opened the door, a gorgeous, beautiful girl. Fell in love with her in a second. So she says, Moshe Beaton lives here? He said, oh no, that's the other side of the hallway. So you see, beautiful religious girl, modest, nice. So he said to her, before you go, can I tell you something quickly? She said, yes. He said, you see me here with all these books? I'm in this room for 3 years learning Torah. All the time. I hardly sleep. Just learn. Baruch Hashem, I learned a lot of Torah. Every day I pray 3 times to Hashem. I say to Hashem, I don't want to waste time on shidduchim. When the right times come, make my soulmate knock on my door. 3 years I'm begging. 3 years with tears. Nothing happened. That's the first time in 3 years since I got to this room that a girl knocked on my door. See that she's not covered with the hair. So you know she's single. So he told her, just think about what I told you. The next day, a shadchan came to his house, knocked on his door, shalom. I came on behalf of the girl who came here yesterday. You know, religious people, they don't talk like in a bar. Can I buy you a drink? 5 minutes later, he has twins from her. Can I buy you a drink? 2 dogs. She moves her tail. He goes like this, the chimpanzee in a safari, right away. Some manners here, you know, derech eretz. So what happened? So the shadchan came, started to ask, question, family, who, you know, after they saw everything match, Baruch Hashem, they made l'chaim. They got married. Why he got married, and maybe 50 other guys who lock themselves in a room won't get married until they get to their 40s? Why it works for one and not for the other 10? Because he's the one who really never worried. You worry, you have to do it yourself. You let Hashem worry, He does everything. This is what we have to know. השלך יהבך על השם, והוא יכלכלך. Throw all the weight on Hashem's wagon, He carry everything for you. You want to help carrying? Go ahead, help. That's it. What is it like? You have a little 2-year-old kid. You're very strong, and there's a huge suitcase. The suitcase 100 pounds in weight. So, and there's bags and stuff. So one bag is the bag of your son. Again, he's 2 years old. How can he carry such a bag? So you carry it. So the son is asking to carry. So you take some of the stuff from the bag, you put it on his back. So he takes it. This is us. When you don't trust Hashem to carry for you, you have to carry for yourself. What happened the next trip? The father already put it on the back of his son. You want to carry? Carry. That's what happened. So, before we finished, maybe you have some questions, but before we finish, you have to remember one thing. It's very easy to manipulate millions of people. People believe in reading in the hands. People believe in reading in the face. People believe in Kamea. They write all kinds of names of angels, put it in your pocket, nothing will happen. People believe in all kinds of things. But the reason that they want to believe all this nonsense is because that serves their wish. It serves their wish. How do you think Madoff fooled so many business people? Not one of these genius financial institutions were able to check him. You want a lousy mortgage, they check the color of your underwear today. They check your grandmother, if she's alive or not. They check every ticket you ever got. Everything about you they know today. But no one checked Madoff. No one knew he doesn't have any investment. No one checked his financials. People stand on life to give him more than $50 billion. Why? He promised 12% cash, no IRS involved. It's like 17-18% interest on your money when the bank give 1%. It was a wishful thinking. All these Fonzi scams always work because the people are dreaming to make the big interest. So even if they know logically, maybe it's a scam, maybe he doesn't have collateral, maybe he's going to take the money and run, even that, he still lies to himself. He lies to himself. I'll give you a story that happened. A few years ago, a Mexican billionaire crashed in his private helicopter. Moshe Sava, Mexican Syrian Jew. He was a tycoon, billionaire. When he made his first $150 million, when he was worth $150 million, he was a big supporter of Rabbi Eliezer ben David, perhaps the biggest Persian rabbi in the world today. One of the biggest. Huh? No, Parsi. He's Persian rabbi from Great Neck, Rabbi Eliezer ben David, and he basically started the kollel in Great Neck for the Persian people. So he has a lot of avrechim all over the world, Argentina, Israel, New York. He has many people who learn Torah and he gives them salaries. He is also very big Baal Emunah, this rabbi. I believe he's about 75 years old now. I just saw him in a Brit a month ago in Great Neck. Baruch Hashem. So what happened? Moshe Sava used to give him a check every month for all the people who learns Torah. One day, Moshe Sava told him, the rabbi told Moshe Sava, I have a great idea. I heard about Argentinian bank that gives 27% interest on your money. 27 bank, not mafia, 27%. And there are people who say they're making money every month. They show that they make money. So he said to Moshe Sava, instead of giving me every month money, put $50 million in a bank account on your name, your money, not mine, on your name in a bank in Argentina. Just from the interest, I'm gonna pay all the guys who learn Torah, and you still have your money, so it doesn't come out of your pocket. Rabbi wanted to save him money instead of giving from his own. Same thing. Now Moshe Sava was a fool. He was a very good businessman. Why he didn't check that it's a scam? Because he wanted to believe, wow, what a great life it's going to be. I don't have to give every month 50,000, whatever it was. You know? That's going to get done for me. Shortcut. Shortcuts. It's a poison. That's why the rats always get caught. Shortcuts. So what happened? He put the money. 2.5 months they got the money. The owner of the bank stole all the money people put. They put it on a truck, cash, all in cash, and crossed the border from Argentina. By the morning, all the investors found out they stole all the money. The poor rabbi, he had to call Moshe Sava for help this month. The bank won't send the money this month. How do you call a person he gave him such an advice and make him lose 50 million from his 150 million? A third of his saving got wiped out in a minute. So he called the rabbi, he called Moshe Sava. And Moshe Sava told him, Rabbi, don't worry. Hashem Natan, Hashem Lakach, Hashem Mevorach. First Hashem gave me the money in order for him to take it from me. I wasn't upset when he gave it to me. I'm not upset when he took it. Who knows what could have happened? Don't worry, Rabbi. I'll continue to give you just as much as I was giving you every month. 1 year after, he was worth $10 billion. That's the story. Go check. And then when he died, Hashem knows why he took him. We don't know why Hashem does what he does. But one thing we know for sure, that he bought a Mexican channel, some kind of a television channel that was not doing so good. From the minute he bought it, he sold it for like $10 billion or something. He bought textile company, communication companies, became one of the most powerful people in Mexico. To his funeral, the prime ministers came, the president, the head of police. It was a real big shot. How he got killed? There was a Syrian wedding here in Brooklyn. So he came with his private helicopter to the airport. He has a helicopter in his house. He lands on the grass. And then he goes with the helicopter to save the traffic of Mexico. He lands by the airport. And right there they have a private airplane. You know? So they take the private airplane, they arrive to New York, they send them a limo. They went to the wedding for 3-4 hours in Brooklyn. Then the same night they fly back. Mexico to Brooklyn on a private jet, few hours, 6 hours they were there, 7 hours, whatever. On the way back, they landed with the private jet in Mexico, but it was all fog. Couldn't see anything. So he was with his son and his wife. He was with his wife and his son and his wife and his father. His father, an older person, he told them, I'm not getting any helicopter. I take the car. I take the car, the taxi, whatever. Don't take the helicopter in this weather. But he said, come on, it's only a few minutes. He got on a helicopter, him and his wife and his son and his wife, they all crashed. Crashed, shortcut, crashed. The Torah said, don't take risk. Why are you counting on miracles? Count on a miracle. We don't judge anyone. It could have been that we done the same thing. Depend. Some of us are more cowards, some less. Some people like to take risk on their life. It's an adventure for them. Otherwise, why they try heroin or all kinds of drugs that can mess up your head for life? They saw so many people got messed up in their life with this, and it destroyed them, destroyed everything they had. Why would someone even try it once? Curiosity? That's enough reason to jeopardize your entire life, to mess up your life of your wife and your children, to mess up your business, to destroy the life of your partner, to destroy the life of your parents. So much on the line for 5 minutes of curiosity, pleasure. Why is trying? You want to know what is missing? One Israeli guy came to Manhattan and met a Brazilian girl. Brazilian girl.
Very dangerous.
So he went with her and made a scene with her in some hotel, whatever. In the morning, he opened up his eyes. She wrote on the mirror with her lipstick,
Welcome to the world of AIDS.
"Welcome to the club. You right. You now have HIV."
I heard it, it's true.
You understand? 5 minutes of pleasure messed up his entire life. So why shortcuts doesn't work? Because there is a formula in the world that Hashem did. You cannot circumvent Hashem. Hashem made rules. Adam la'amal yulad. A person must kill himself with hard work. Hard work. I'll give you an example. If a person wants to stay away from anger, how hard it is not to be angry. Especially if you have hot blood naturally. Some people, you ask them, "How are you, Jojo?" in the morning, he wants to kill you already. You ask him, "How are you?" None of your business. Some people are not that bad. One guy told me, "I'm only angry when people make me angry." I told him, "You fool. If you get angry by walking on the street and looking at the birds singing, you need a mental institution." Everyone gets angry when someone makes them angry. So today they found a way how to overcome anger. Who knows how?
By being nothing.
Smoke grass.
That's ridiculous.
Smoke.
Weed.
Weed. All days, smoke all over. It relaxes me.
Yeah.
The people who smoke it are the angriest people. Soon as the effect of the drug stop, they can focus, they nervous, they angry, they shaking, they can't do anything in their life. Messed up their brain.
Right.
Every year it burns more cells in their brain. They want to learn one page of Gemara, they cannot focus 10 minutes. I go like this.
How much you're right, you know?
Like I had students like this. They were in India. They dig all these drugs. When they finally wanted to learn Torah, it's too late. They missed the train. Sitting in yeshiva, banging their head to the table. I wasn't dumb like this. In school, I was doing excellent. I was great in math. Why I cannot think? I say, you know why? 5-6 years of drugs in India, cheap. That's why you went there, no? Now the brain is messed up for life. Chemical, even bigger damage. What a person put into his blood, things that Hashem did not design the blood to tolerate. Put poison in the blood. You expect to live what? It makes a damage.
Robert, what's the halacha behind excessive drinking and excessive drug usage?
Not allowed to touch drugs even one time. Not allowed. Alcohol, if a person is in control, like me. I drink sometimes on Shabbat, beer, whiskey a little bit. You'll never find me once in my whole life. There's not 1,000,000% chance that I will ever be drunk. Ever. No chance. It's not exist. Unless you put a gun to my head or something. I'll never get even near it. I will never get near it. As soon as I will feel a tiny tingle, right away, I will not touch it. So if you're in control, the Torah is not against alcohol. We're not Muslims. The Muslims make up rules. Torah says you're allowed to drink wine. The wine they used to do Kiddush was 50% alcohol in the time of Chazal. It's not against the law. In Purim, we drink. So alcohol is not against the law in Judaism. It's against the law to be drunk. If you're drunk and you murder someone, you have to be executed. No discounts. What do you see? No discount. Nobody told you to be drunk. It's like someone who drive and he closed his eyes and he hit a little boy and killed him. So he said, come, I show you a video camera that it happened because I didn't see him. So they said, why I didn't see him? I closed my eyes. Why? I wanted to pretend how is it to be blind for 1 hour. Oh yeah? Put him in the electric chair. It's not fair. I didn't plan to kill a boy. You fool. You closed your eyes, you became a potential murderer. You murdered, tough luck. Well, there's nothing you can do.
What about a rabbi who says it's okay to smoke marijuana?
I don't want to tell you where to put this rabbi.
What if he tells somebody that, has cancer, God forbid, and
there's also rabbis in the world.
Marijuana is doing good to this person.
It's never been proven that it's a cure for anything.
No,
It's just a theory.
It's not a cure, it's a remedy.
It's not even a remedy. It's a temporary remedy. Like a person that become drunk for 2 hours, it's a temporary remedy for his depression. Temporary remedy.
Ease his pain also.
Then the depression become double.
Give him a painkiller. His drugs also.
Well,
Drugs.
up to a certain amount, it's fine. When you lose judgment, when you begin to lose judgment, you take LSD and you see a little pothole look like the Hudson River, then you're a danger to society.
That's, I agree with that.
Yeah. Or one time I went to Staten Island. I gave a lecture to about 30 guys and girls. They're all 18, 19, 20, 21, these ages. 2.5 hours I speak. I say, unbelievable. Young guys like this, all chilonim, not one of them is religious, all earrings, hairs, ponytails. 2.5 hours they sit. They didn't make a beep. Not one person moved. What an audience. All of a sudden. One guy got up. He went like this. Achi, brother. I looked at him. He said, I'm a Superman. And he started to go like this with his hand. All of them got up and started to jump like this. So the guy who organized this lecture, I said to him, what's going on here? This was 15 years ago. I didn't know what I know about all this. He told me they all took this pill. It's called Superman. It makes you feel you fly. There's only one problem. Superman is paralyzed in hospital already for 15 years.
He's actually dead.
He dead? I don't know. I don't follow the news.
There is 2 news.
He died already. Okay. זכרו יגן עליו. Achie, I'm a Superman. I didn't know until that day there's names like this to the drugs. Each drug, they have a name. Anyway, conclusion, there's really no shortcut. So now I said they found a way today to overcome anger. Besides smoking, there is another way how to overcome anger. Who knows how?
Smoking what? Cigarettes?
No. And a secular way that the psychologists claim that it helps to fight anger. Who knows what?
Suggestion
Counting till 10 before you.
is that they have to put money in every time they get angry. They pay, let's say, $10.
No, that's my idea. I say that idea. Don't steal me. I deserve the credit. I say to people, every time you get angry at your wife, put something painful in a tzedakah box. After 3-4 times, you see going bankrupt, and the next time you're about to scream, you'll think $50 is about to be burned. You know how I came up with this solution? How? One time I went to a clothing store in Bat Yam in Israel. There's a place called the Passage. There's like a little tiny mall with a ceiling. I went into a store, and it was a men's shoe store. The owner of the store is the father of one guy who went with me to school. So I went to that store. It's a few steps away from where my parents live until today. So I go into the store, I see that my friend's father and the manager there, the manager, the woman, she was screaming at him, fighting about something, they want to kill each other. So what happened is, he wasn't embarrassed for me because I'm a friend of his son. He knew me already personally. But as soon as a woman walked in, the manager was about to murder him almost from anger. She was red and screaming and cursing. As soon as the customer came in, she turned around. How are you doing? How can I help you? So I say to myself, wow, what a great actress. Just 5 seconds ago, if this customer won't come in, it will end up with 911 call. How are you? So what do you see? What made her all of a sudden smile and become so calm? She was about to lose a customer. Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe not. Maybe she wouldn't buy anything. She's about to lose a customer. Money hurts. She became such a nice person. That's it. This story, many years later, reminded me that you can basically control your feelings by making disciplined system. We'll finish with that. Mamash 2 more minutes. How do you fight anger? They say that once a day you have to go into a room and scream, and you have a big pillow like the boxer have. Take all your anger out, hit it, scream, break, do something, go screaming for 5 minutes. It helps you to release all the energy that is inside your body, and for today you will be much more calm.
Every day?
Every day you have to start the day like this before you leave the house. So now, first let's start. Does it make any sense to you or no? First, anger, does it ever been proven that it's bichlal an energy? So anger is an energy? Anger, it's a spiritual thing. It's an emotion. Who told you anger is energy? Energy is something to do with physics, right? Physics, energy, you heat something, it creates gas, it pushes an object, it creates a speed, that's energy. Power will push another power. But this is an emotion. When you cry, it's an energy. When you scream, it's an energy. When you're jealous, it's an energy. When you're in love with someone, it's an energy. It's not an energy. So that's problem number 1. Problem number 2, they made a scientific research about people who does it. They took hundreds of them, and the conclusion left no doubts. They were much angrier than other people who do not do it. It caused them to be a lot more angrier. Just like there are doctors in America who they call themselves experts to improve your love life. The suggestion that they give the married couple in America, I am guaranteeing. I take full responsibility. Not only it doesn't help the love life and the marriage peace and the peace in the marriage and the health in the house, it destroys it even more for a longer term. They tell them to watch dirty things, to exchange things, to cheat, but to agree, not to hide things from each other. They call it in America open marriage. You fool. If a person comes to his wife and say, I want to go to another woman, do you know one normal wife that he won't burn her heart? It would make this wife love you more next time when you come, or hate you more? Same thing, if a man, his wife told him, for 1 week I want to take a break from you. I met a guy in a clothing store. I want to go with him away for vacation for a week. And when she comes back, can he even look at her? If they are animals, yes. Animals don't need guideline for marriage. Anyway, they can do whatever they want. Animals. If you're a human being, how can you live another second? One guy told me that he dreamed that his wife was with another man. For 3 days, he did not eat and did not drink. How this came up? He told me, I can prove to you that Chazal were wrong in the Gemara. They say if a person does not eat and does not drink for 3 days, he has to die. No drink, no eating. I did not eat and did not drink 1 drop for 3 days. I told him, why you did it? He told me, because I got up in the morning and I had this horrible dream. And for 3 days I was depressed. I just couldn't touch food. I couldn't come out of bed and go to work. Not on a dream. Technically, when he woke up, he should be very happy, and an hour later, relief, no? On a dream, he couldn't function. Why? It was normal. He was normal. Other people were not normal. So I told him, when Chazal speak about something, they speak about a general rule. Of course, there's a guy who can last 10 days without it. They found people in building collapse on them. 10 days later, they found them, they're still alive. They revived them. In general, average person, 3 days, no drink, no tea. And it also depends on the temperature. They spoke in Israel when it's 110 degrees every day. It depends. If it's in America, 30 degrees, it's not 110 degrees, right? Depend on humidity, depend on the condition, depending if he has sicknesses, what's the level of the sugar in his blood. There's always an exception to the rule. So, the people who they taught them to get angry and to scream, not only they did not been improving their anger skills, and they actually been proven more anger. I just want to read to you the research and we'll finish. That's it, the last thing for today. The fact that in order for us to get rid of anger, we have to express our anger in a positive way. Why? Holding the grudge in caused us psychological issues and make the anger worse later on if you hold the anger in. So you have to let it out. That's a theory. Okay. The source for that old theory, it's actually coming from Aristo, 2,400 years ago, the Greek philosopher Aristo, that he claimed that watching theaters, they used to go to the theaters, the Greek, watching tragedies shows by the Greeks, they used to have, like fighting, killing, all this in the theater. It makes a relief in the mind and the heart of the viewers. There is a name for it. It's called catharsis. Did you hear that word before or no? Catharsis. It's purifying the anger out of your system and from other negative feelings. And it leaves the person with a peace of mind. 2,000 years later, the founder of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud, the famous Freud, said that holding the anger in, causing it to grow later, and causing sicknesses later. According to him, mental health will be reached by speaking about the negative feelings that a person feels and releasing them every morning, automatically, right? Based on Sigmund Freud, many psychologists and healers and all kinds of people like that, they recommend to their patients, to their customers, to release flame. In Hebrew it's called לשחרר קיטור. When the train start to move, it's release the steam. So release the steam and get the anger out. by hitting a pillow, hitting a boxing bag or a doll, scream, curse from all your heart, with all your anger. Psychological research tested this theory in the last 50 years, again and again and again. And they found not only did not relieve anything, in most cases it made it much worse. Here is an example how people want shortcuts. Who wouldn't want to scream one morning for 1 minute, go in a room, scream like a mishuga, banging on the table, all day control my anger, my partners love me, and listeners love me. Who won't want it? The Torah says it's impossible, my friend. You know how hard it is to get rid of this anger? 30 years of work. What do you have to do? Learning Torah and Torah and Torah and Musar, Torah, working, falling, coming up, falling, getting up. Without this, there's no test in life. 1, 2, 3, the problem is over. Rabbi, take a check, problem is over. Baba, write to me a kamea. What's kamea?
Kamea.
No, what's the name of that? The write. I keep forgetting this word.
Is there a word in English for it?
Yeah, humiliate.
Amulet.
No.
Amulet.
Amulet. Write an amulet, no more problems. What is New Judaism came to the world? Baba A, Baba B, and Ali Baba together. Fool everyone. You gotta be careful. No shortcuts. No, there's no such thing. No such thing. To be tzaddik, prepared for every day hard work, again and again, thousands of tests until you reach that. And when you reach that, what do you think? The test is over? Tomorrow it's the same exact test. 1 year you did not get angry. It doesn't become easier. One year you didn't touch a girl. You're a single guy. You don't make scenes. 1 year, 2 years, 20 years. After 20 years you fall. It doesn't go away. Yes, you're more trained to work against that desire. There's no guarantee. The Gemara brings example of people in their later age, how they collapse. 1,000,000 times bigger than us. אין אפוטרופוס, there's no guarantee. לעולם אין אדם יפתח בעצמו. A person should never trust him until the last breath he takes in his life. Why? The Satan is fooling us all the time. Do you understand what's happening here? No one ever can trust himself because this cancer that called Yetzer Hara is eating us from inside. So, again and again and again, that's the only way. And if you think there are shortcuts, you'll be not disappointed, you'll be devastated when you died with your beautiful big yarmulke and your nice beard, and you find out that all the money you paid fakers to catch you a shortcut, not only they did not make your life easier, they are the one who's sending you express to hell. The only problem is where they're going to be to complain. They'll have their own problem. Baruch Adonai Leolam, Amen v'Amen.